So very good morning to all the students of class plus 2C. Yes, beta. We were doing this chapter, Indigo, and points we have read so far. Then I will share the screen with you, and please, you have the books with you? No, then you will keep on noting down the points. Whatever I'm speaking, just write in the gist. So Shukla, Rajkumar Shukla, a common peasant but aware peasant, he met Gandhi ji and he kept on following him unless and until he gave his consent to meet him. So finally Gandhi ji gave his consent. He said that meet me in Calcutta on so and so date. After many months he gave that date because Gandhi ji was very famous leader, Congress leader, and he was busy also. But finally Shukla, before Gandhiji's arrival, he reached over there and he waited for him. And after that, Gandhiji, both of them went to Muzaffarpur. And Gandhiji, being a lawyer, he wanted to collect the data and true information rather than jumping into the conclusions. So he collected the complete information. He went to meet Rajendra Prasad, who is first president of India. He's known as, at that time, he was also prominent leader. So Gandhiji went to meet his friend Rajendra Prasad. He was not at home. Servants were there. They did not allow Gandhiji and Rajkumar Shukla to enter the house because they thought both of them are peasants. And a concept of untouchability can be, you can say, extracted from this, because they did not allow Gandhiji to take water from the well outside Rajendra Prasad's house. That is the sub theme of this chapter as well. Then they went to Champaran district. Gandhiji called the meeting of lawyers as well. He chided them that you being Indian lawyers, already Britishers are befooling Indian peasants. Then very important thing is sharecropping arrangement. मैंने बार-बार आपको highlight किया. You should know what was the sharecropping arrangement. Who will tell me? जल्दी से बताइए. Very good, Karthik. Yes. Very good. So Karthik has given exact answer. Peasants, Indian peasants were forced to grow indigo, that is commercial plant, to extract the dye or color. They forced the Indian peasants to grow indigo on 15% of their holding. And not only this, after growing indigo on 15% of holdings, they have to give harvest of indigo as the rent also. The production also they wanted. And one more thing happened. Yes, who will tell me about, yes, you tell me about synthetic indigo. Samyak, you were present in the class yesterday. Anushka, which country started producing synthetic indigo? My goodness. Anybody? Online children? Yes. Correct answer. Online children can type in the chat box. Which country started producing synthetic indigo, and when Britishers, asked Indian peasants that now, yes, Webber. So Germany, German country, fine, they started producing synthetic indigo in the meanwhile, and that baffled Britishers because already they have asked Indian peasants to grow indigo and they were getting synthetic indigo from Germany, and they started again asking Indian peasants, because we are going to get synthetic indigo at much cheaper prices. So this is the sheer wastage, whatever we asked you to grow. So you have to compensate for that. Means from all the angles, they were suppressing Indian peasants. समझ में आ गया अब ये sharecropping arrangement? So when I ask you questions, you are not able to express it. So please have the complete knowledge. Half knowledge is more dangerous than no knowledge. Clear? When you are coming to school, you are sitting here, sit with open ears and just concentrate on whatever teacher is saying. Though you are liking it, not liking it, understanding it, at least try to concentrate. Okay? क्योंकि आधी इंफॉर्मेशन गलत है आपकी तो फिर क्वेश्चन पूरा ही गलत हो जाएगा. Then so Gandhiji chided lawyers and scolded them that why you are befooling Indian peasant, and a vast multitude joined Gandhiji by this time. It was like a movement now. Indigo movement hai is SST mein, you might have read. So he many lawyers, many peasants from Champaran, Motihari district and surrounded area, they thought if a common man like Gandhiji is taking a step for us, why not we should move forward. So they joined Gandhiji, and Britishers were shaken. They were amazed to see how this lean man is able to, gather a lot of people against them. So Gandhiji got to know that one of the peasants was brutally beaten up. Fine. So Gandhiji thought, I should go and check what is the case, what is the matter. He himself was going at the back of, or you can say on that carriage of elephant carriage, he was going because transport system was not that fast. During the way he was stopped, he was given by British authorities, he was given a warrant to quit Champaran immediately. That who are you to interfere? Gandhiji did not approve of that, you can say, warrant against him. He signed a receipt because he was a lawyer. He knew the legal path. He signed a receipt and he said that I disobey your orders. So when somebody disobeys the order, as a result, automatically he will be called by the Britishers in the court to answer that why you disobeyed. This is what Gandhiji wanted. He wanted to have one-to-one conversation. Fine. तो यहाँ तक हमने पढ़ा था. Now let me share the screen. Let's continue. Please, students, keep on noting down the points. So Gandhiji received a summon the next day. Summon means call. SUMMON. Fine. So he got a summon that you are supposed to come to the. Fine. Then what happened? Please underline. This is the time to join the class. Na, is time aa rahe hote. So all night Gandhiji remained awake. Why he was not able to sleep? Because the people who have to work, they don't have time to sleep even. So he remained awake because that was the crucial night. He telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come from Bihar. Us time pe jo Rajendra Prasad the, he had gone to Bihar and he telegraphed him and asked him to come along with influential friends. So many instructions were sent to the ashram. He wired a full report to Viceroy of that place also. So rato raat Gandhi ji ne arrangement kar liya of many people, vast multitude. Morning found the town of Motihari, because he was at Motihari at one of the houses he was using as headquarters. Fine. So it was full with peasants next morning. Many peasants, a vast multitude joined him. And they did not know that how Gandhiji was so famous in South Africa at that time. They just know that there is a Mahatma, a lean man, who's very simple looking. And he's, shaking this roots of British Empire. And we should join him because he is doing this for our sake. So logo mein bahut zyada awareness aayi. So many peasants came from Motihari also. The officials felt powerless. उनको लगा कि what is happening, this man has gathered a lot of group of people, masses are joining together. So he helped them regulate the crowd. They were not able to regulate the crowd of peasants. Who were not able to? Britishers, British authorities. So only one person, Gandhiji, helped them ki let me handle them. So Gandhiji gave instructions to them that this is the way you are not going to behave, because he was follower of Ahimsa Paramo Dharma. He was against violence. With peaceful methods, he changed the condition. The government was baffled, confused, and the prosecutor, when Gandhiji was inside the court and judge was there, prosecutor was there, all the authorities were there, he requested the judge that if we take the decision now against Gandhiji, you go and have a look outside. A vast multitude of peasants and influential personalities are there. It will be against us. So unko kuch, they were helpless. They had to delay and postpone the trial. जो गांधी के लिए सम्मान आया था, that he has to be present in the courts. He was inside. He was saying, take the decision. See how helpless he made Britishers at that time. So Gandhi protested against the delay. He said, why you are delaying it? I am here. You called me. You take the decision. What do you want to say? But, that was the time when they had to choose not to take any decision. And finally, the magistrate announced that he would pronounce sentence after a 2-hour recess. So they were helpless. उन्होंने 2 hour का gap डाला. Asked Gandhi ji to furnish bail for those 120 minutes. कहते हम अब bail होता है that you are sent free for जो भी duration आपको मिला है, but you cannot go out of the city. So they said कि 120 minutes के लिए हम आपको bail देते हैं for 2 hours. That you go, so we delay this process. The judge released him without bail because Gandhi ji refused. He said, why? He refused this. So the judge released him. Judge कहता कोई बात नहीं, बिना bail के चले जाओ. So they were helpless. They could not take any decision. When the court reconvened after 2 hours, and judge said he would not deliver judgment. 2 घंटे के बाद भी they could not give any of the judgment because they were so scared. So scared. And Gandhi remained at liberty for 2 hours. ये कभी किसी history में नहीं हुआ है that the person or against the trial is being made, he is set free. So this is the beginning of this Indigo movement. That for the first time Britishers were forced to take decisions which they never wanted to take. Clear हो गया इतना सबको? Please online children respond accordingly. जल्दी से we are heading forward to end this chapter, very important chapter Indigo. वंशिका को clear हुआ है? बाकी के क्या कर रहे हैं? Are they sleeping over there? Respond immediately everyone, otherwise absent. Now you have to note down some names. Who influential personalities were there? How many people you can say or name them? Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore Babu, Maulana Mazharul Haq. Rajendra Prasad, Brij Kishore Babu, Maulana Mazharul, Mazharul. Fine. Mazharul Haq and several other prominent lawyers had arrived from Bihar. So everybody was there by the side of Gandhi ji, and Gandhi ji asked that what would they do if he was sentenced to prison. Gandhi ji कहते अगर मैं prison चला गया, what will you do? Why? The senior lawyer replied, they had come to advise and help him. If you will go to jail and they will not go back home, they will not sit like that. What about the injustice to the sharecroppers? Gandhi demanded. Lawyers withdrew to consult. Rajendra Prasad, you know, was a very notable persona. He said that if you go to jail, we are also ready to go to jail. आपने सुना होगा go to jail movements बहुत होती थी उस time. जब government, जब police कहती थी ना, okay, we are going to put you in the jail to the leader, and hundreds and thousands of people would come कि okay, put us also in the jail. उसको कहते थे jail भरो आंदोलन. Means to what extent they will be able to take the people inside the jail, because in the jail they have to take care of their food also, other basic things also. Agar hundreds and thousands of people, there is no capacity. So out of that, they had to take any decision. So they said, if they will take you inside, we are also, thousands of prisoners are ready to go to jail with you. So that was the decision. But nothing like that happened. They accordingly went back to Gandhi and they told him that we are ready to follow you into jail. The battle of Champaran is won, he exclaimed. At that point, Gandhi ji ka kya tha mudda, abhi ye bataiye. Whether he wanted to get the less sharecropping arrangement, he said one thing, that my main motive is to make peasants free from fear, that they should not be suppressed. Unko khud se pata hona chahiye that we should not be scared of the Britishers. When all the peasants said that we are ready to go to jail with you, that time Gandhi ji said, the battle of Champaran is won. Aaj aap jeet gaye ho. Because you are aware now कि आपने, you have started that. So everybody was contented. Several days later, Gandhi received a written communication. So they were forced to take decision. So Gandhi ji got a written communication, a letter आया उनके लिए. कहाँ से? From the magistrate of the Britishers, informing him that Lieutenant Governor of the province, he has ordered to drop the case. They dropped the case against Gandhi ji because he went in a legal way only, na? So civil disobedience had triumphed. Very important question, beta, please mark it. civil disobedience. What is civil disobedience? Civil, when somebody denies to follow the instructions of the government. Fine. What is civil disobedience? Please, children, note it down. What is civil disobedience and how, for the first time ever, civil disobedience won? Civil disobedience means, obedience means agya, manna, kisi ko follow karna. Disobedience when you do not follow. So when government or police authorities and higher authorities are giving you some order and you are disobeying it, Gandhiji disobeyed na, that I will not quit Champaran. I signed a receipt. And even then he won, because Britishers were not able to take any decision. They dropped the case against Gandhiji. That means for the first time in history, that was the winning of civil disobedience. Isko civil disobedience movement bhi keh dete hain fir. Clear? You should not have any doubt. Yes, online children, is it clear what is civil disobedience? For short question, very important it is. Clear? Then now Gandhiji and the lawyers, it's not liars, okay, lawyers, now proceeded to conduct inquiry. They thought ki okay, case is dropped, ab aage kya karte hain? So Gandhiji along with other lawyers, they started doing inquiries into the problems or grievances of the farmers. Fine. So they started asking, aapne wo Nayak movie dekhi hai? Anil Kapoor is there, in which one day Prime Minister, he got a lot of, signs, and very good movie that is. You can relate this thing with that. So within days, Gandhiji asked that what are your grievances? What are your, every peasant, 10,000 peasants, they started writing notes. This is the problem faced by us. Documents were collected from the people, written documents. The whole area throbbed with activity of investigators, protests of the landlord. Ek pura, you can say movement start ho gaya. And Gandhiji had, continuous interviews with Lieutenant Governor. Continues. As a result, he had to call Gandhiji again and again. And as a result, he appointed an official commission. Jab aisa kuch hota hai na, then government has to set up. Recently, Modi ji came and he could not enter the borders of Punjab. Uske liye proper ek commission bithaya gaya tha. Remember that, to inquire about the thing that what exactly happened. This commission will take decision. Similarly, when such things happen, they just make a temporary commission who takes into the consideration what is happening. Fine, to inquire. So Gandhiji, when was called by Lieutenant Bar interviews hui, so he appointed an official commission of inquiry into the indigo sharecroppers. Specifically, indigo sharecroppers ke liye wo commission banaya gaya. They inquire that why so much of chaos are going on. So as a result, Gandhiji remained in Champaran for, you can say, he came for one day. See, Rajkumar Shuklavan called him. He remained there consecutively for 7 months. And after that, regular shorter visits. So you can very well relate ki how important this movement was. So when Gandhiji was called, very important question once again, beta. Settlement between Gandhiji and British officials. 25% settlement hua tha. Fine. They thought that he would demand repayment in full of the money. When Gandhiji was called by British officials, that okay, what do you want? They were expecting that now he will ask for the full repayment of the peasants, for the peasants. But actually, Gandhi asked only for 50%. He did not ask for 100%. And Reverend J.H. Hodge, a British missionary in Champaran, he thought that they said that they will not give 50%, they get ready to 25%. They offered 25% settlement ki hum itna repayment karenge aapko, 25% of whatever compensation they have taken from peasants, usme se 25% वापस करेंगे. Gandhiji agreed to 25% settlement, to the shock of the peasants. Bahar peasants khade the, they were shocked that why Gandhiji agreed to 25%. Itna kuch kiya, itna withdraw hua, and movement started. People lost lives and a lot of things, and he agreed to. Then Gandhiji gave his answer that my idea is not that money can be earned later on. My idea is that at least you people are free from fear. You are self-independent. Now nobody can befool you. That matters the most. Fine. So Gandhiji agreed to break the deadlock. He agreed to 25%, and he gave this answer to them that, this is important. Awareness is important rather than money. So after that, Gandhiji never stopped to improve the condition of Champaran. Champaran was very backward district in which there was no schools. Women were wearing rags. They just had one sari to wear. Even Gandhiji's wife, Kasturba, she came to help. Gandhiji's kids also involved into this. So Britishers had to release the land of the peasants. After that, Gandhiji worked for the betterment of backwardness, to remove the backwardness of Champaran district. Fine. Mahadev Desai and Narhari Parekh, two young men, Mahadev Desai and Narhari Parekh. They joined Gandhiji as disciples and their wives as well. Fine. Uske ilawa bahut sare Bombay, Pune and other distant parts of the world, many people joined. Even Gandhiji's youngest son, please note, Devdas, he also joined from ashram, and so did Kasturba, Mrs. Gandhi. So Mrs. Gandhi, as well as youngest son of Gandhiji, he also joined. They worked upon the health conditions. Gandhiji arranged a doctor, a volunteer doctor for the services for 6 months. वहां पे सिर्फ 3 medicines होती थी, castor oil, quinine and sulfur ointment for each and every disease. So he improved the condition. Fine. They improved the condition of the women. They were living very filthy life. So Gandhi kept, whenever Gandhi, after 7 months, he would go and he would make short visits to Champaran. Even then he would make, you can say, an eye. He kept an eye on Champaran ki kya chal raha hai wahan pe, what work is going on. So he changed the condition of all the people of Champaran district, education, medicine, living condition, he upgraded it. Fine. Clear. And very last and very important question is Charles Freer Andrews. Please note down this name. Charles Freer Andrew. You can see on the screen, beta, I have highlighted. For you, I have written on the board. Andrews. This was English pacifist. ये Englishman था. Charles Freer Andrews. He said that I am going to, he wanted to be Gandhiji's follower. Okay. Charles Freer Andrews was English pacifist. He says that I want to be disciple of Gandhiji. And, all the followers of Gandhiji, they said, Gandhiji, this is the chance. We should ask this man to join us. We will be able to get all the information from the Britishers as well. Gandhiji said, ki I came from Calcutta to Muzaffarpur, to Champaran, to Motihari. Years I gave to this Indigo movement. And after that, if I will take help of one person having British background I will never do that. He rejected his help, or he just wanted to follow, though he was an admirer of Gandhiji. But anything can happen. Gandhiji said, I taught you a lesson in resilience, fine, patience, and self-dependent you have to be. यही तो पढ़ाया उन्होंने पूरे मूवमेंट में, that you need not depend upon Britishers, you need not depend upon any other lawyer. You have to be self-dependent, that I can take my own decision. And again, you are saying that Charles Freer Andrew to join our party? No, I just reject this notion. So with this chapter and all the questions and everything completes. Clear? So Gandhiji in this, what is the lesson he taught to people? Self-reliance. ये Reliance company का name है जो, self-reliance. Means be self-dependent. किसी और के ऊपर depend मत करो. Fine. Any doubt to anyone about any fact? Yes, children, please show me your feedback. Is it clear? Only 2-3 minutes are left. Let me give the list of question answers you need to think upon. Fine. Those who are listening, it's their benefit. Those who are just passing the time, let them. Note down the questions of Indigo and try to give answers side by side as well. Why did Gandhiji say the Battle of Champaran is won? Why did Gandhiji remark or exclaim, Battle of Champaran is won, W-O-N? For tomorrow, beta, we will be revising invitations and replies. You have doubts in that? Yes? Invitations and replies, you have doubts, as you said. So, and I will be using sample paper of CBSE. Recent sample paper for term 2 is out. Fine, I will share with you all in the group as well. Please go through. It's not that easy, though paper will be of 40 marks, but it's not that easy. It's very tough. Fine, subjective एक तो आपको लिखना पहले ही भूला पड़ा है, and ऊपर से it's very tough. So you have to think and ponder that how to attempt such questions. Okay, so tomorrow each and every one of you should join the class for invitations and replies. Okay, in the one period we will do both because काफी time लगा के हमने सब किया था. Now we can just speed up accordingly. Fine. So yes, tell me why he said Battle of Champaran is won. Yes, and they became self-reliant. Yes, they became independent, and they said that they will also go to jail if Gandhiji go to jail. Yes, Champaran episode was the first instant of the victory of civil disobedience in modern India. Yes, Anmol, right answer. So this is the winning of civil disobedience as well. That's why. Next question is, what was the refund settlement? What was the refund settlement and why did Gandhi agree to that? What was the refund settlement? Why did Gandhi agree to that? Yes, Prab, tell me. Yes, 25% was the settlement. Very good. And why did Gandhi agree to it? Yes, money was not important to break the deadlock. Fine, he agreed. He was concerned that for the first time, they were able to shake the roots of British Empire. They were able to change the actions taken by Britishers. You know, पहले तो वो मानते ही नहीं थे Britishers किसी की बात. So now they were ready to take decision at least. They were not talking to them कहाँ पे और कहाँ पे consecutive interviews हुई गांधी जी की. And they take the decision. So that's why that was more important rather than money. Clear? Next is, how did Gandhi work for the rural upliftment during his stay in Champaran? How did Gandhiji work for rural upliftment during his stay in Champaran? So he wanted to work to remove the backwardness. Fine. He appealed, he hired teachers and doctors, and he also worked to improve the condition of the women. Fine. His youngest son, Devdas, came all the way from ashram. Primary schools were opened in 6 villages. Fine, primary schools bhi nahi the wahan pe. They were opened in 6 villages. Kasturba taught the ashram rules on personal cleanliness and community cleanliness. Wife of Gandhiji, she taught personal cleanliness and community cleanliness to all the women of the society over there. Fine, only 3 medicines were available at that time. So Gandhiji arranged volunteer doctors as well. Clear? And he worked for total upliftment of the village on the whole. Fine. So any question can be there. Self-reliance, what the messages we got from this chapter, and factual information as well. Okay.